Big East Women's Basketball is brought to you by Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the Big East Conference. Xavier Cintas Center, a sparkling gem on the Cincinnati night sky. And we're ready for Big East Women's Basketball inside the Georgetown Hoyas, visiting the Xavier Musketeers. Mike Schmaltz alongside Paul Fritzner. The big show with you here tonight on the BEDN. And for Georgetown, it's all about defense for Darnell Haney.
That's the theme that we talked to Coach Haney about earlier today. And when you look back at the first meeting between these teams on December 30th, it was a two-possession game going into the fourth quarter. The defense came through for Georgetown. They ended up winning by 23. Xavier only scored 4 points in the fourth quarter. Musketeers need a more consistent 40-minute offensive effort today.
Xavier also looking for some answers on the defensive end as well. They've been working on it this week. Billy Chambers, the second-year head coach for the Musketeers, happy with the way they're coming into this game. We'll see how it works out for them tonight. Let's get a look at the way these teams stack up coming into this matchup. Georgetown with the scoring advantage, but both teams equal almost in field goal percentage.
And for Xavier, you'd like to see that scoring number tick up. You're in the low 50s right now. That's got to start to tick up here as this season continues. You want to turn that defense into offense. You pride yourself as a defensive team. Try to take some of those stops, create some of those turnovers, and turn them into points on the other end.
When you talk about the Georgetown defense, you talk about Kelsey Ransom. Ransom, the defensive player of the year in the conference last year.
There's a fuller picture to bring into focus. A way to live more truthfully, more faithfully, more mindfully, purposefully, thoughtfully, more fully. Because when you open your eyes, when you look around and take in the full picture, you'll discover this is so much more than you ever thought possible.
What is it?
The bus is leaving in 5 minutes.
All right, fine, I'll be out in a second.
You scared the gigabytes out of me.
I scared you.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. 100 innovative companies, one ETF.
I think I might have oiled myself.
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Back in Xavier Cintas Center, moments away from the tip between the Georgetown Hoyas and Xavier Musketeers. There's Kelsey Ransom for the Georgetown Hoyas, be leading the charge as a graduate student. And you see how Georgetown leads this series 16-10. The last matchup, 64-41. The Hoyas took it in D.C. on December the 30th.
You know, I was debating how I wanted to frame that game on December 30th here, Mike, because on the one hand, you could sit here and say that that game wasn't indicative.
From American Airba takes over. Musketeers looking for better up top for Borlova. Spinning cut off at the free throw line. Tremendous season coming into tonight, averaging a double-double, 13 points and 10 rebounds.
Yeah, turnover there, but that was a smart cut on that last possession by Taylor Purvis. Drew a couple defenders, allowed the open three in the corner. It didn't fall, but those are the kinds of things that Xavier needs to improve on here. Off-ball cutting, just getting open, allowing teammates the opportunity to try and score. Not getting so far in the shot clock before the offense really kicks into high gear.
Kanerva picked up top there by Kadi Hashun. Hashun, a freshman. Down off for Kelsey Ransom. Ransom brings it in. And it's Siobhan Ryan, a transfer in from Richmond, and a corner three is up and good there for Hashun.
Yeah, smooth in rhythm right from the corner, and you see Georgetown off the made field goal, setting up their press, nearly creating a turnover.
Nearly a steal there for Hashun. Inside for Kanerva, lost it behind her back, and a steal there for Ariel Jenkins.
I mentioned in the open, Kanerva kind of shifty, able to get to the rim. You saw that there, able to get into the paint, just lost her balance and lost the ball. But turnovers have been a serious issue for Xavier over the last couple of seasons, trying to clean that up, give yourself extra possessions. Take a look at this last three. Good closeout there by Canerva. An even better shot.
Shun shoots 39% from three. That was her 25th of the season. Last foul is against Mary Canerva for the Musketeers. Xavier's first. Shun working on Canerva. Top of the key, Ransom got a screen. Three was just short.
Yeah, she came right up through that screen from Ryan to the top of the key. A couple of nice plays here from both sides that have resulted in missed threes.
Ransom all over Borlova up there at the top of the key. Purvis cycles it over for Mary Canerva. Canerva picked up by Victoria Rivera, the junior. Renee Oreo steps to the elbow. Shot no good, and Siobhan Ryan grinds out a rebound for the Hoyas. Shun kicks out for Ryan. That ball off the mark. And the rebound comes down. Shot too strong. Rebound off for Hashun. So great defense there on the block, and then she pulls down the rebound. Ransom with pace. Finds Ryan in stride, and the layup good.
Yeah, Oreo caught out of position there. Georgetown recognizing it, now getting into their press.
Canerva charging back for the Musketeers. Jenkins cuts her off. Lucia Martinez-Lopez off for Canerva, dribbles into traffic. Good look there. Oreo found the lane, cut right to it, and a good find from Canerva.
Yeah, Oreo averaging just over 3 points a game, and with the way her shot looks and some of her instincts, you're a little surprised that she's only averaging 3 a game. I really like the game that she has. Some of the shots she takes, it's just she has a hard time getting them to fall.
Transferring from Sacramento State. One of the 4 Spaniards on this Musketeer roster. Hashun drives it around Canerva. Good kick, good rotation up. They find Ransom, fake. Back for Ryan, 1 to shoot. Too many passes there. But great ball movement all around. They just needed a couple more seconds. Rivera got that 3 to go, but waved off. Shot clock violation.
There's Darnell
Haney. What a great story he was last year. Took over as an interim head coach when Tasha Butts passed away before the season started due to cancer. And Darnell Haney came from Jacksonville. He was the head coach there, came up to coach with Tasha Butts, ends up inheriting that team last year, took him to 23. So whistle here.
I think they had a shot clock issue.
Our officials tonight, Denise Brooks, Talisa Green, and Meadow Overstreet. Keeping an eye on the proceedings here. Musketeers get their first 2 with that nice cut to Renee Oreo. Inbound for Purvis.
Yeah, through contact, using the window. That's a tough, high degree of difficulty shot that Kelsey Ransom made look easy.
Kelsey Ransom makes a lot of things look easy for the Hoyas.
That's back-to-back possessions with those passing lanes.
Great steal there for Jaden McBride. She's a freshman from Erie, Pennsylvania in Cathedral Prep. Kicking to the corner, Ryan up for a 3, and that's good.
What a start here for Georgetown. Defensively, they've held Xavier to just the 2 points. Four of their first 6 shots.
2 threes from 2 different.
It's 3 straight turnovers for the Musketeers.
McBride working against Canerva. Leaves it up for Jenkins. Ball to the wing for Ransom. Right again with quick hands. Another steal, her 3rd.
Yeah, 4 straight turnovers for Xavier, but a whistle there will send us to the timeout, and Xavier will get the ball right back.
Ransom playing a little too fast to the baseline, but the Georgetown Hoyas building a 10-2 lead here midway through the first.
Yeah, Defense turning into offense in a big way.
Mike Schmaltz, Paul Fritzer back with you at Xavier Cintas Center. Women's basketball here tonight, Big East style. The Georgetown Hoyas with a 10-2 lead over the Xavier Musketeers midway through the first. Here's the standings as we get started tonight. The UConn Huskies, number 5 in the country, of course, atop the standings. The Georgetown Hoyas there with that one-game lead over St. John's could do a nice job here to get to 500 on the season tonight with a victory. And the Musketeers trying to plow forward here and grab that second conference victory.
Yeah, Xavier finally snapped that skid a couple of weeks ago, got their first Big East Conference win in about 3 years. And you get that win over Butler. It's a hard-fought win, a 1-point win right here at home. And we asked Coach Mel Moore about, or not Mel Moore, we asked Coach Chambers about that. And we asked Coach Chambers, is this something that you look to from your team? What's the reaction, right? What's to winning a game like that, to finally winning a Big East Conference game? What is that like for this team? And she said she was impressed by the thoroughness of her team to be able to appreciate the win, but also try to move forward and realize that there are bigger goals in this season to try and string together some wins down the stretch.
Mentally coming into tonight. And again, it was a good 3 quarters for the Musketeers in the first matchup this season, and then it was a 20-4 barrage by Georgetown in the fourth quarter that absolutely. Patty Hashun working on Julia Garcia-Raj, who just checked in at the break. Good. Coming into this season, one they depended on to produce double figures. She's averaging too strong from Lucia Martinez-Lopez.
Georgetown with some good size on the court right now. Xavier going to Lauren Christie off the bench tonight.
McBride hands it back. Here's Victoria Rivera, and this off the glass and in.
Man, that's what Ajanique Mayo gives you. Some athleticism to the rim, able to use her body to create that opening for her left hand off the glass.
So foul there on the floor. It's going to go against Julia Garcia-Raj. Be the Musketeers' second here in the quarter. First for Garcia-Raj.
Yeah, that last bucket there for Mayo, again, just going up with the right shoulder to create space. That's tough.
Good burst in the open court as well for Mayo to get this Georgetown lead down to 6. Hoyas haven't scored in the last 2.5 minutes. Has run this offense. Really gets his shooters into good spots. Ransom gonna have to beat the shot clock here. Good pull up. Thought she got contact, and it's an air ball. And the Musketeers gain a little life, forcing their second shot clock violation of this quarter.
Yeah, sustained defensive pressure for Xavier. Being able to put it together.
go to battle in the post for the Musketeers.
Right now it's just Georgetown, the active hands, creating deflections, doing things defensively that are creating a lot of problems for Xavier to try and handle.
Kalia Myrick's into the game. They shot another steal. Good ball in the open court. It is turned over. Christie had a shot at it. That was Amanda Ajobayowe.
That was Xavier's 6th turnover, and I believe, as you see Billy Chambers there, 4 of them have come on backdoor cuts.
Billy Chambers in her 2nd season here at Xavier. From 2013 to 2023, she was a head coach at Iona, racked up 144 victories. Ajobayowe back out for her shun. Floater over Garcia. Raj off the glass and in, and they will add a free throw attempt as Garcia Raj ticketed with their 2nd foul.
Yeah, two fouls here in the last minute for Garcia Raj. Being too aggressive. It's tough to say being too aggressive, I guess. I don't want to say from that perspective, but like the foul that happened right here in front of us, it's almost at midcourt on a reach. There's a critical part here of this Xavier unit. You just got to be aware of this early in the game.
He shot 79% from the free throw line this season. Knocks in the three-point play and a foul here on the floor. Georgetown with that signature pressure. Foul against the shun. Here in this quarter. Less than a minute to play here in the first. Shot clock down to 10 for the Musketeers. Daniela Lopez step back 3. That one. Myrick's. It back to Rivera. 7 on the shot clock. Long 3 won't go. Great save in by Ajobayowe. 3 from the wing, no good. Ajobayowe knocks it up and in. Great rebound, opportunistic on the putback.
Yeah, I thought Georgetown might hold for the final shot. Now Xavier can get the final shot.
Here's Canerbo with 3 seconds. Hands it back for Lopez. The trail 3, too strong. And Georgetown, opportunistic on the boards, going to take a 15-4 lead into the break between the first and second quarter.
Yeah, it was the defense that we talked about in the open.
Amelia, turn off alarm. Amelia, weather?
70 degrees and sunny today.
Amelia, unlock the door.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Jen.
Why not?
Did you forget something?
My protein shake.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is.
You're so dramatic, Amelia.
Bye, Jen.
100 innovative companies, 1 ETF. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room. A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are stronger.
We are Georgetown.
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Milano, Italy.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Abuja, Nigeria.
And I chose
Xavier University.
For its education, more opportunities.
For passion. Because it felt like home. The community. Campus life. D1 basketball.
Because I love Cincinnati.
I came here
to be a Musketeer. I am.
I am.
I am.
And we are the faces of Xavier.
The Big East Conference, in collaboration with Playfly Sports, is proud to announce the return of its 13-stop mobile tour. The Big East road trip is set to deliver another round of interactive experiences, traveling across the Big East for men's and women's basketball matchups, concluding at the men's and women's conference tournaments in March. The tour will feature 2 hours of pregame entertainment and activities at each stop, including free throw challenges, spirit squad and mascot appearances, photo ops with the Big East Championship trophy, and more. Alumni, students, and fans are all encouraged to join in on the fun. For more information, visit www.bigeast.com/roadtrip.
See what's coming up there for the road trip at Seton Hall and at Providence. A little busy weekend there. And over to UConn and end of the season at Georgetown, and then the Mohegan Sun for the women's tournament. And Paul, you were the first host of the season for the Big East Road Show. It was right here at Xavier.
Yeah, Casey Standahar, myself, helped out here for the Big East Road Trip, and it's a lot of fun, you know. You get the fans involved, and really enjoyed it.
How many pictures did you take that night with the fans?
Well, you didn't
Hundreds?
come up. No, well, you didn't come up. You
I
are
can
my
get one
fan.
anytime, and I don't want to
You
deprive
are my
others
fan.
of that experience.
No, you are my fan.
Georgetown, I am.
And
Good.
you didn't get a picture with me, so.
We'll get one today.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
Make up for you?
We'll smile at halftime.
How about you sign my phone screen?
That'll devalue the phone.
No, I don't believe so. Ransom with a great rebound. Shot clock resets. Myrick's ball goes inside. Borolova all alone. Got lost there in a rotation. His Shun came over late. And Borolova has the Musketeers 6-point.
Yeah, now the Musketeers able to set up some of that full court pressure.
Foul there.
Taylor Purvis, just like that foul in the first quarter from Julia Garcia-Raj, with a foul way outside the three-point line, just being too aggressive.
Denise Brooks giving the explanation there to Billy Chambers. Shot clock at 24. Fouls on Taylor Purvis. It's her first, and the Musketeers first here in the quarter. Joe Bayoué leaves it up for Kelsey Ransom. 3 away here for Victoria Rivera. That one in and out, and a rebound down for Myrick's. Myrick's in trouble in the corner, but plenty of time on the shot clock for Georgetown to reset. And they find Hushun. Finds a lane to drive, kicks out for Ransom. Ransom left-footed dribble, ran into some traffic and traveled.
And Ransom got caught up in those steps, driving in a hard closeout, forced her into the lane, and then, as you see here, Oreo, then a Borolova and Purvis coming over to help.
Borolova off for shot no good. And Amanda Ajobai from Riverside, California comes up with another rebound.
Georgetown has been strong on the defensive glass today. They've only allowed 1 offensive rebound so far.
Ajobai is comes up with a Musketeer rebound. And Georgetown leaving the door open here for the Musketeers. Is Shun. Reverse for Joe Bayoué. Kick out for a Ransom 3, and it goes.
And Ransom has had kind of a quiet start to this game. She was 0 for 2 from 3, 1 for 4 from the field.
Kicks corner, 3 away for Canerva, no good. Irene Oreo getting tangled up there with a Shun and a late whistle. And the foul's going to go against a Shun.
They're getting tangled up there. Oreo with the size advantage, able to reach in.
Rebound. So now Georgetown really with its 2 largest post players.
And again, Canerva can get there, but sometimes she has trouble actually completing the play, getting the ball into the basket. We've seen that. But that's just one thing that she can continue to add to her skill set.
Good runner. Kelsey Ransom off the glass and in, and they'll bring up a stoppage here on the floor. It is a timeout as the Xavier Musketeers call it, as they are 0 for 5 from the floor, and Georgetown has extended this lead to 20-6. For the 4th consecutive season, the Big East Conference celebrates Black History Month by partnering with the Black Fives Foundation, a nonprofit public charity whose mission is to research, preserve, showcase, teach, and honor the pre-NBA history of African Americans in basketball. To honor these teams, both teams are wearing shirts with the mantra Pioneers of Change here tonight. We encourage you to visit www.bigeast.com/Black Fives to learn more about the athletes, coaches, and communities who played a critical part in America's basketball history.
Basketball's history is greater than just the game.
From 1904 to 1950, the Black Fives redefined what was possible.
In a time of segregation and oppression,
these trailblazers created a national circuit of independent teams
that gave a platform to Black athletes
and paved the way
for generations of Black players and coaches.
They played in the same cities where we compete today.
And their legacy lives on in every arena we step into.
This Black History Month, Big East Basketball is proud to continue to partner with
the Black Fives Foundation to honor those pioneers.
And to remind ourselves
that their tradition is still alive in us.
Their fight for opportunity shaped the game we love.
Now it is on us to continue that history.
Join us in celebrating their stories.
To learn more, visit bigeast.com/blackfives.
Back at Xavier's Cintas Center, 26 Georgetown, 6:01 to play here in the second quarter. Mike Schmaltz and Paul Fritzner with you. So we celebrate Black History Month here in the Big East with the Black Five movements, and the Washington Bears, best known for their winning 1943 championship season of professional basketball. Georgetown playing for them tonight, honoring them with some special recognition, and the Musketeers honoring the Savoy Colts. They were organized on the south side of Chicago in 1928. Featured Hall of Famer Oral Washington. How about that box score? We don't see those much anymore.
You don't at all. It's a great throwback. Great initiative as well for both sides.
Billy Chambers on the sideline here for the Musketeers in her second season. There's Darnell Haney. The glass, who picks up contact.
Yeah, make that 10, might be 11 here after the free throw. Well done, sealing off a defender, finishing through contact. Look at that, Oreo. Jenkins able to create outstanding position in the low block, knows right where the basket is. That's an underrated part of that. When you post up, being able to turn, know right where you are and go straight up with the ball. You think it's easy. You think you're right there on the block. Sometimes game moves fast. You might shift more than you thought.
Jenkins converts the free throw. Less than 5 minutes to go here in our first half. Here's Siobhan Ryan. Knocked away by Purvis, regained, three from the wing for McBride, no good, and a rebound down for Mackenzie Gibbons, Musketeer freshman from Princeton High School right here in Cincinnati.
I think Xavier's done a pretty good job as well boxing out tonight. Only 6 offensive rebounds combined in this game so far.
In that column, ball goes inside to Mackenzie Gibbons, and a foul there on the block. Gibbons pretty quick to the baseline, and Ariel Jenkins picks up her seconds.
And Xavier 1 foul away from being in the bonus here.
Victoria Rivera checking in here for the Hoyas. Darnell Haney said she's done a tremendous job with leadership here with this team. Daniela Lopez, 8 to shoot. Musketeers again deep in the shot clock. Ashanique Mayo. Over for Lucia Martinez. Lopez beats the shot clock and knocks it in off the glass.
And you could see Darnell Haney over there for Georgetown kind of nodding his head and just saying, look, that was a pretty good defensive possession.
For the steal off pressure. Turn around there on a baseline, partially blocked. Mackenzie Gibbs. Siobhan Ryan on the wing, steal there from Taylor Purvis. Purvis a chance for the layup, but she'll convert. Timeout here for Darnell Haney with 3:28 to go in the second. Is Xavier coming to life?
And Haney frustrated as the Musketeers, a little 4-0 run here in the last minute and a half.
So Xavier giving the Hoyas a little taste of their own medicine. There's been 8 turnovers for the Hoyas, but just 4 points off. That was 2 of them there from Purvis. And for Xavier, it's 7 turnovers. The Hoyas have converted 11. And we talked to Darnell Haney today, and he said, get ready for some defense here tonight. He wasn't happy with the effort. Thought they lost some of their principles in a 14-point loss to Creighton. That was their last time out. And he said he's been talking to them all week, and he promises a little defense here tonight. It's working out pretty well.
Yeah, only 4 points in that first quarter for the Musketeers and 6 here in the second quarter. Offense has slowed down a bit for Georgetown, but still the turnovers, 8 turnovers for Georgetown, 7 turnovers for Xavier. But like I mentioned a minute ago, Georgetown's made more use of those turnovers, 11-4 in points off turnovers. And overall, Georgetown's been so active defensively, getting in passing lanes. And if you're Xavier, a lot of those turnovers are avoidable, right? A lot of those turnovers are passes that you're trying to get a backdoor cut, and it's a one-handed pass, just things that you should be able to clean up.
Hoyas break the huddle with possession. 30 to shoot, 3:28 to go here in our first half. Well, you see this lead shrink down to 13. And the Musketeers right back to pressure. It's worked the last 2 times for Xavier. Bryant sends it across for Kelsey Ransom. Ransom into a double team. Cut off by Mayo. Back up top for Jaden McBride. Myrex hands back for Ransom. Ransom eyeing up. Mayo gets a contested shot away. Gained contact, and Kelsey Ransom will go to the free throw line. Veteran move there to draw the contact on Mayo.
Yeah, she's been playing a physical game tonight. You can see Mayo reaching up on that mid-range shot.
3rd foul for the Musketeers here in the quarter. And Kelsey Ransom delivers from the free throw line. She's 69% this season. Well, she had her first 30-point game of her career, 35 against Villanova on January the 8th. And into tonight, her last 3 games, 20 points, 25, and 28.
Talented scorer, one of the best in the conference. The best as far as scoring goes.
Lucia Martinez Lopez hands back for Irene Orio. Now off for Gibbons. Gibbons inside. Martinez Lopez lays it home.
Yeah, nice little shot fake there. Get the defender off their feet.
Well, Billy Chambers looking for some offense. She had 8 points and 4 rebounds last time out against St. John's. Offensive foul there against the Hoyas.
Xavier playing a lot better here in the last couple of minutes as you see Martinez Lopez. It wasn't even really a shot fake. Just put the ball on the court. Able to get the defender to fly by.
Martinez Lopez back inside, got her own rebound.
Xavier playing better defensively, able to kind of get in front here. See right there. Difficult shot.
Canerva quickly into the offensive end for the Musketeers and back for Oreo.
Story of this game offensively for Xavier, 0 for 9 from 3 right now.
Given steps inside the line. Kick it up for Canerva. Good look at a three. Hit the front of the rim, back of the rim, and came out.
Thought that was
Ryan away with a rebound.
Going to be a timely announcer jinx right there. It wasn't.
Thought it was going in.
Yeah.
Thought Gibbons was going to take it first. Myrick surveys, top of the key. 10 to shoot. Ryan out. Here's Canerva. Ransom right there, Defensive Player of the Year in the conference last season. Skip pass corner, Purvis lucky to catch that, then cut off on the baseline. We see a Martinez Lopez dumps it inside. Oreo had a shot at it. It was contested. Purvis coming away, storming the passing lane, comes up with a steal. Xavier with time. Irony, Oreo can't get it to go from 5, and a rebound will and Georgetown takes the 25-12 lead into the break.
Yeah, a strong close to the quarter for the Musketeers after a kind of shaky start to it, able to go on a little run and get back into this game.
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Milano, Italy.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Abuja, Nigeria.
And I chose
I chose Xavier University
for its education, more opportunities.
for passion. Because it felt like home. The community. Campus life.
D1 basketball.
Because I love Cincinnati.
I came here
To be a Musketeer. I am.
I am.
I am.
And we are the faces of Xavier.
What is it?
The bus is leaving in 5 minutes.
All right, fine, I'll be out in a second.
You scared the gigabytes out of me.
I scared you.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. 100 innovative companies, one ETF.
I think I might have oiled myself.
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room. A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are stronger.
We are Georgetown.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are honoring one of the winningest basketball teams in the history of Xavier University. This season marks the 25th anniversary of the 1999-2000 team, which won Xavier's first Atlantic 10 championship. Career 1,000-point scorers and 4 future Hall of Fame members. Xavier was led by a trio of all-conference performers, including Nicole Lewandowski and Taru Kantakannon on the A-10 first team, and Jennifer Phillips, All-Atlantic 10 second team. The Musketeers started strong, winning their first 5 games of the season, and had an 11-game win streak during Atlantic 10 play, including wins over rivals Dayton and perennial conference leader George Washington. Following a tough 2-point road loss at GW, the Musketeers closed the Schmidt Fieldhouse era, winning the last ever game there over Duquesne 87-54 on February 24th of 2000. The Musketeers went on to win the Atlantic 10 championship en route to a then school record 26 wins against only 5 losses. In the Atlantic 10 tournament, the Musketeers defeated St. Bonaventure, St. Joe's, and George Washington in the final. In the semifinal win over St. Joe's, Xavier overcame a 19-point deficit to win 84-78 in overtime. In the final against top seed George Washington, tournament MVP Nicole Lewandowski had a 3-point play, giving Xavier the lead for a good 47-45 on her way to finish with 19 points. A 12-1 run capped by a 3-pointer from Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Year Amy Wall sealed the win for Xavier and the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. The Musketeers were ranked number 24 in the final AP poll, their first appearance in the final ranking of school history. Tonight, we have members from the team in attendance, but first, members of the team who could not be here tonight include number 12, Hillary Kulik, number 22, Alina Pasola, number 45, Kristen Lowry, number 33, Amy Hughes, and A10 Rookie of the Year, number 3, Amy Waugh. Also not in attendance tonight, head coach Melanie Balcom. Now please direct your attention to the court, where Xavier University's Senior Associate Athletic Director and SWA, Dr. Susan Lipnicki, and Senior Associate AD Brian Hicks will honor each of the players in attendance tonight with a commemorative piece of the floor from Schmidt Fieldhouse as they are introduced. Also on display at center court is the 2000 Atlantic 10 Championship Trophy. Please welcome back to Xavier, a forward and co-captain, Hall of Fame member and MVP of the 2018 championship, number 40, Nicole Lewandowski. Co-captain, number 15, Jennifer Parr. Hall of Fame member, number 4, Retta Pipari. Hall of Famer, number 20, Jennifer Phillips. Number 13, Katie Griggs.
Big East Women's Basketball is brought to you by Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the Big East Conference. Mike Schmaltz, Paul Fritzer back with you. Xavier Cintas Center, midweek battle between the Georgetown Hoyas and Xavier Musketeers. Georgetown with the advantage here as we're almost ready to start the third quarter, but the Georgetown defense has been spectacular as we expected, but the Musketeers really winning the turnover battle. They forced 10 turnovers against the Hoyas, just haven't been able to cash in on the other side.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Mike. The difference is that Georgetown has made use of the turnovers, and where Xavier has lost those possessions because they haven't been able to score, it feels like for Xavier it's been so difficult to try and navigate this tenacious Georgetown defense. The way that Georgetown is getting into passing lanes, being very aggressive, creating deflections, all of those things, that's given Xavier a lot of trouble.
Let's get a look at some first half highlights here between this second battle between the Hoyas and Musketeers this season. Hoyas shooting 37.5% in that first half. They got it going from distance with 3 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Musketeers held to 22%.
Yeah, and overall, Xavier 0 for 10 from 3. If Xavier can just hit a couple of those here in this second half to try and turn things around, this game could be completely different. But that was one of the better plays of that first half. The and one there on the inside. Front Jenkins just able to seal off the defender, and then there for Xavier, nice little move by Martinez Lopez. Xavier closed the half strong.
See that shooting percentage solidly in favor of the Hoyas, and the Musketeers only shooting 22%, but still well into the ball game. 22 rebounds, a big advantage for the Hoyas.
Yeah, of the 35 rebounds you can see there that have been collected in this game total, 7 have been offensive rebounds. So both teams have done a good job on the defensive glass, not allowing these teams to get second shots. The turnovers are going to be the difference in this game because you see right here, Georgetown leading by 13. That's more than Xavier scored in the entire first half. So Xavier's going to have to score, and quite frankly, they're going to have to score quickly here. A lot of those possessions in the first half that Xavier scored on, you get down to that last portion of the shot clock. You're seeing the clock tick down toward 10 seconds. Try and score a little quicker here to get some momentum.
Musketeers wanted better decision-making. They're getting some of that, just haven't really shown up in the shooting percentage.
Yeah, absolutely, and they got to continue to do that here in the second half.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with the tip here in the third quarter. Georgetown leading Xavier here in Cincinnati.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room. A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are stronger.
We are Georgetown.
Second half about to get underway here between the Georgetown Hoyas and Xavier Musketeers in Cincinnati. Georgetown lead over Seton Hall. Not Seton Hall in the standings, be Marquette in the standings, just behind. As Georgetown comes into tonight's 7th in the standings, and the Musketeers trying to break through with their second conference victory of the season. Got their first by 1 point over Butler a couple of weeks ago, and that ended the better part of a 2-year drought in the win column in the Big East for the Musketeer program.
Yeah, Xavier in this second half, Mike, again, just looking for more consistency on the offensive side. Xavier did not even attempt a free throw in that first half.
Yeah, they have not been to the line much this season, have the Musketeers. .36 free throws, and just for comparison, Georgetown shot 314.
And here's the thing about that number, just to kind of put some context on it. It's one thing if you're not a free throw shooting team, right? Some teams don't shoot a lot of free throws because they like to space the floor. And you're also 0 for 10 from 3. One of those two numbers has to be, a fact.
Keep it alive. Gibbons gliding down the floor. Has the ball blocked. It goes out of bounds, and Xavier keeps it. Back to that free throw percentage. It's 64% for Xavier. And a team that, you see Gibbons going in here. That's a good clean block there by Ryan. A little bit more and converting. Ball inside for Lopez. That's a good look in from Taylor Purvis off the wing.
Yeah, a couple of lapses defensively tonight for Georgetown. Difference between Georgetown and Xavier tonight, because Georgetown has continued their drives to the hoop, whereas Xavier has gotten cut off and then has looked to pass or looked to turn around, maybe post up, whatever it might be. Georgetown's continued to drive. They've been able to get to the line.
Here's Siobhan Ryan, just averaging 2 points, 2 rebounds this season. She is a good free throw shooter at 75%, but her career best in scoring is 27 points. Did that against Ball State, a member of the Richmond Spiders in 2022. Basket, and they call it treble, and they'll give it back to Georgetown.
I thought that might be an and one with some of the contact she got going to the rim, but an extra step as she shuffled to get there. See it right there. That little shuffle.
Good break here for the Hoyas. As Shun gets it into the block, they call an offensive foul. They will wave off the basket, and that'll be Shun's 3rd foul of the ball game.
Aggressiveness to the rim, but from Xavier, practice that a lot. Slide in, set your feet.
Lucia Martinez Lopez picks up the offensive foul there. And day one for Billy Chambers here with Xavier. They talk charges. It turns into 3 possessions. Canerva up top and trying to throw the heads there. Ariel Jenkins. Jenkins picks up a foul.
A lot of fouls in this game from beyond the arc.
Third foul there for Jenkins. A little trouble brewing there for the Hoyas.
3 fouls on Nishun, 3 fouls on Jenkins.
Jenkins. And that's another foul on Jenkins, and that should be her 4th.
And she just picked up 2 fouls.
No, I'm going to call that on 32. So on Siobhan Ryan's will break there for the Hoyas.
See right here. Oh, yeah, on the box out, kind of undercut her.
Strong left-handed drive off the bottom of the backboard, and it stays with the Musketeers. Jenkins was there. Ricocheted off her leg. Gibbons. Martinez. And the Musketeers forcing the issue, making some progress here.
Yeah, and this will be the first 2 free throws of the game for Xavier. You could see Canerva. That's what I mentioned. A lot of times earlier in this game, you've gotten that little weave. You've tried to get to the bucket, but then as they've turned, they haven't been able to just go ahead and score. They've gotten cut off, and they've decided to spin it out, maybe get back to the perimeter. And instead, Canerva, she put her head down, attacked, got to the line.
Jenkins came up with it, away for Ransom, and Mary Canerva gets a hand in the passing lane. Daniela Lopez returning for the Xavier Musketeers. Canerva comes off to get a rest. Canerva into tonight and taking 200. He's out of the lineup right now. He's only taken 4 today. Another offensive foul drawn there by the Musketeers. That's going to go against Kelsey Ransom, her second, 5th now for the Hoyas here in the quarter.
Yeah, kind of throwing that elbow. That's 2 offensive fouls on Georgetown here in the last couple minutes.
Jenkins now a steal for Lopez in the backcourt. Give it up for Gibbons. She knocks it home.
Darnell Haney wanting, that really not a bad foul there from Xavier, because that was going to be a wide open layup for Jenkins underneath.
A nice pocket pass there from Gina Wilson. Irony Oreo back on for the Musketeers.
Yeah, see right underneath. That's not a bad foul. Prevents it too.
Offensive foul there. It's the Hoyas trying to create some screens. That's going against Victoria Rivera. Rivera's first.
So that's 3 offensive fouls that have ended possessions for Georgetown in the last couple minutes. It's become an issue.
Knocked it away. Checking it was Wilson. There was McBride in transition, couldn't control it. It goes out of bounds, and the Hoyas turn it back.
Yeah, both of those very avoidable turnovers for Xavier, trying to force a pass into a lane that's not open, and then for George, timeout by the Musketeers.
So Xavier with the basketball and a little momentum here with a timeout. Musketeers on the attack, trying to get closer to the Hoyas. Daniela Lopez working inside. Mackenzie Gibbons, the freshman, coming up big. Back at Xavier's Cintas Center, Big East women's basketball, the Musketeers trailing the Georgetown Hoyas 33-25, 12 to go in the third quarter. We are joined by a Xavier legend, the 5th all-time leading scorer here for the Musketeers. It's Teru Tukkanen, and you see her down there in the left corner of this graphic that's called Start to Finish. The coach over there pointing was Mark Elan. He recruited Teru Tukkanen here to Xavier, and you went on to win one of your signature accomplishments here. You were part of a team that won the 2001 NCAA Mid-East Regional with a victory over Pat Summitt in Tennessee. Welcome back to Cintas Center. What's it like to be back?
It's so awesome to be back. Obviously, there's a ton of memories from here and had the best 4 years of my life. so it's really emotional and fun to be back.
Talk about the transition from Finland, because the 4 players really weren't in the ranks in NCAA basketball that much. So how did you come to connect with Xavier, and how did you come over to play?
Susanna Strömberg was the first Finnish player here. Mark Elan had recruited her, and then her father did something in the national team in Finland and kind of talked to me about Xavier and talked to the Xavier coaches about me, and then Melanie Balcom was the coach who recruited me over here.
What was the experience like for you playing Jen Phillips, some greats on that team? At the
Same group. We had 5 people in my class that's got really close already freshman year, and then by senior year we were really, really good. So amazing experience, and their family. So now, I mean, after 25 years, we just got together today, and it's like no years have passed in between.
You know, it's interesting you say that. I'm curious, kind of looking at how college basketball has changed here with the transfer portal and everything else. How important is it to have that consistency over time?
I mean, obviously, I think it helps the chemistry when you're with the same people. Obviously, there's players who maybe didn't play, like Jennifer Parr didn't play freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, a lot of minutes, and then senior year she was the one with the most minutes and did really well for us. So I think in today's world, if you don't play, you're immediately looking for other things and changing teams, and new players are coming with all classes, not just freshmen. So it's a whole different world, I think. But back in our day, I mean, we really were a family, and we had great chemistry. And us coming from Finland, these American families adopted us. Like, everyone's parents were here, everyone's grandparents. I knew everyone's uncles and aunts, and spent every holidays at someone's home. So I think it was a whole different experience back then.
You mentioned a little bit about that tradition here for Finland. You mentioned Susanna Strömberg, but we've had Anina Ayenen was part of the Musketeers. Rita Piperi was the great shooter outside, played with you as well. But Mary Kanerva, you played with Mary in the Finnish Cup. So talk about Mary's skill set and what you know about her.
I played with Mary for 3 years, so we played in the top league in Finland, and she's been playing with like great Americans who's graduated college, us European professionals with a long career. So I think she's very mature. She has the experience, and even though she's a freshman, she's very, very ready to take over here.
You taught her very well, because she was a great passer when she came through her first couple of games here at Xavier. She'd drive into the lane, kind of pass on some layups and pass out. And they were trying to say, hey, score that basketball. But, you know, you got scorers like you, Taru Tukinen, in the lineup. They're going to kick it to you first, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so she was well disciplined that way.
Well, I mean, yeah, we had really good players on our team back in Finland. So Mary has been the one, like, running the point guard and passing the ball a lot. And I think here, she definitely needs to take a lot more shots and understand how good she is. I think she's just a very humble kid, very good kid, and she just needs to be more selfish.
Yeah, but she's exhibited that growth here. She's starting to score more. So what's it like to see her kind of grow into this game over here in the NCAA?
Well, obviously, I love watching it. There were several years that I wasn't following as closely what was going on over here, but now I'm following every game, of course, and watching how she's doing. And now, yesterday, I got to spend the day with her and just see the dorms and talk to a little more about like everything with her. And obviously, I'm hoping that she's going to have a great experience at Xavier like I do. Like, obviously, Xavier for me is like, it's in here, and I hope she gets to feel the same.
So that big win in 2001 in the NCAA tournament, you beat Pat Summitt, one of the greats all time in the game, the SEC. You were coming out of the Atlantic 10. Did you have that feeling that, hey, this was really a big accomplishment for a team, especially coming from Cincinnati, the first to get to the Elite Eight from Xavier?
Yeah, I think we knew we wanted to play Tennessee. There were a lot of articles or face them and ended up beating them. Like, we were really confident at that time, and I know people on the outside didn't think, but we knew that we were going to beat them.
What do you remember about that game? Is there a play or two that you recall that maybe turned it for the Musketeers?
I don't remember exactly who. I think we had such a good team that one day it was remember who it was in that game.
There's a steal here for Daniela Lopez, who hit a big three the last time down for the Musketeers, and Lopez converts it to points, and the Musketeers have cut the lead. Like to play for her here in Xavier. Princeton offense, which is similar to some principles that Billy Chambers is running here.
Yeah, I really liked it. I think it was definitely like a team type of offense. We moved the ball really well. We went backdoor. We had good players in our positions, and obviously great shooters. possible.
Kick out three for Purvis, and the Musketeers on the run here. They are
here, Mike, and outscored Georgetown 16-10.
Well, Taru, you were still playing in Finland, is that correct?
Yes. That is correct.
Are you a Hall of Famer in Finland?
No.
You're a Hall of Famer to us.
Thank
Here at Xavier, I'll tell you that much.
Thank you.
So how long has your playing career been?
Well, ever since I graduated Xavier, I have not missed a season. So I've played every season professionally in Spain, France, Italy, and Finland.
There's that look for Taylor Purvis as the Musketeers pick up their second three of this half, second three of the ball game. And Xavier, who was very close with Georgetown going into the fourth quarter. In the first matchup, it was a 2-point game before Georgetown really opened it up in the fourth quarter.
I haven't got that yet.
I wouldn't have you quit. Siobhan Ryan, nice answer there for the Hoyas. So what's the age range of some of the teams you play? Obviously,
for the past, I don't know, 15, 20 years, I've been the oldest and all the...
Yeah.
So right now, I have a 16-year-old teammate. She's the youngest one on our team, and then the rest, the oldest one after me is like 32. So there's a big age gap, a lot of young kids, but I think that makes me stay young at heart. So I think we have a good combination with them.
Hey, I'm 56. I don't consider myself old. Picks it up and puts it back, and the Hoyas fighting back.
Yeah, the offensive glass hasn't been a huge issue.
It's 25-17 now, the advantage for the Hoyas on the board, and they've got 5 seconds and follow along here this season.
Well, I think their defense is good. They keep teams in low-scoring numbers, but offensively they're not scoring as much, so that's why I think they're lacking some wins. But hopefully, I think that they just need to keep attacking. When other teams are pressing, they need to attack the press, not just break it, but actually attack it, and you have numbers, and try to get some more shots, not just 5-on-5, but like shots with numbers.
I've got an idea for you. So you're a big scorer. You're the 5th all-time leading scorer here at Xavier. I want you to go into the locker room tonight, just touch every locker, okay? Touch a pair of shoes, just touch a garment or something. I think it's going to translate over into some offense for the Musketeers.
I don't know if they're going to let me in there anymore.
I think you're entitled. Just use your gold card.
Yeah.
You're platinum. You're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, okay.
All right, get in there.
All right.
Taru Tukkanen, the Musketeers' 5th all-time leading scorer. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yep.
Minute 23 to go here in the third. And Georgetown battling back now. It's a 6-0 run after the Musketeers went on an 8-0 run over a minute 12. The Hoyas have answered here on a 6-0 spurt over 2:10.
See this here, Victoria Rivera going down hard, getting tangled up there with Daniela Lopez. Walks off under her own power and back to the bench.
Lopez having a nice game here. 3 for 6 from the floor. She's had 1 3-pointer fall for Xavier. That one beat the shot clock here earlier in this quarter. And at the line, Kariha Shun, 79% shooter for the season. 1 of 2 now tonight. 17. That was with 5:24 to go in the second.
For Xavier tonight, they've had great looks though, Mike. Just haven't been able to convert.
Shun. Jenkins. That 3 would have been good for Ransom, and there was a whistle prior to the shot. Musketeers will get the ball back.
Kelsey Ransom with 2 assists tonight. She's 3 short of the program record, 2 short of tying it, 3 short of breaking it. Xavier could go 2 for 1 here if they score quickly, but
almost a steal there for Purvis. Kept it out of the fray. Great play there. Jenkins now with 6 rebounds.
Good job by Purvis here. You don't want to foul. Georgetown in the bonus.
Lopez continues the quick hands defensively. Causes a little disruption. It is a held ball, and it will stay with the Hoyas.
Outstanding defense there from Xavier. defending without fouling, but being physical all the way out at midcourt, creating that little deflection there. Now trying to finish the quarter off.
McBride will inbound. Right there for Jenkins, shot won't go. And the Hoyas hold off a Musketeer surge, answer a Xavier run with a 6-0 run of their own. Finish off on a 7-0 run over 3:33, and the Hoyas lead at 40-28 with 10 minutes left.
What is it that I can do to teach better, to practice better, to get that player to do that one thing? Rising to the challenges, you rise to your preparation. And, okay, so how do you prepare? Fight to win. Give everything that you have from a competitive fire, competitive spirit level. You know, when it all ends, I did everything that I can.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room. A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are stronger.
We are Georgetown.
Back at Xavier's Cintas Center, Mike Schmaltz and Paul Fritz are with you. The Georgetown Hoyas in a nice fight with the Xavier Musketeers there in the quarter. Scoring was pretty close in that quarter. Georgetown outscored 16-15 by the Musketeers. Here's what's coming up for the Georgetown Hoyas and some opportunity at home for Darnell Haney and his group coming up.
Yeah, 3 of the next 5 back in the district, which is great to see. Get here on the road, and you get to go back home the next couple. You're not back on the road until Creighton 10 days from now, so nice stretch here for the Hoyas.
Hoyas are 5-4 at home this season, trying to get to 500 here on the road tonight, and even 5-5. And here's what's coming up for the Xavier Musketeers. Seton Hall, third-place team in the conference on the road over this weekend, then 2 at home for Providence and Villanova, and then finish up the month on the road. Butler had that 1-point loss to the Musketeers here. We'll try to avenge that on the 19th, and then another tough matchup with Marquette.
So Xavier was down by 11 at the end of the first quarter. They made a run in the third, but now they're down.
This is great exponential growth. Canerva over for Mayo. Great recovery, and she knocks it in. That is the 19th turn. For Xavier. Hoyas average 16 turnovers a game.
Heads up play right down underneath.
Joe Bayouwe back in for the Georgetown Hoyas. And at the free throw line, Victoria Rivera. Rivera 3 points tonight, 1 of 6 from the floor. It was a 3-pointer. Knocks in the free throw. That was her first attempt at the line. She does shoot 71% for the season. 12-point lead for the Hoyas. Comes up for Kelsey Ransom. Rivera inside. Jenkins, good find. And the Hoyas beat the pressure defense.
That ball didn't even hit the floor, Mike. That was just pass to pass to pass. Under
through traffic, lost control of the basketball. It'll stay with Xavier.
Yeah, look at this possession. Just pass and underneath, right in position, bucket.
Kenzie Gibbons back in for the Musketeers. Canera, the handoff from Gibbons. Canera downhill. Left-handed layup, good.
Not much of an angle there, but she created one. Nerva.
Rivera, good three. And another press break there where that ball did not hit the floor. So the Hoyas getting past this Musketeer pressure without dribbling. Lead still at 12 here for the Hoyas. Again, they've had answers for the Musketeers throughout the night. Said you're going to bend sometimes and sometimes you're going to break. You just want to make sure you're not the team that breaks first. And the Hoyas have held up here tonight.
Just that defensive effort. We saw back on.
Stay with the Musketeers. Kelsey Ransom did a great job there to force that almost errant pass, and Georgetown last to touch it before it got to the sideline. Before to shoot here for the Musketeers as they inbound.
Yeah, this is in the middle. Now a timeout. Darnell Haney.
Bryant stormed her way across court, and Darnell Haney wants to set something up here offensively. Brings us to a break here in Cincinnati. The Hoyas leading 44-32, 7:18 to go. Join Megan Caffrey as she takes you inside Big East women's basketball each week on the In the Bonus podcast. You can find In the Bonus wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Megan Caffrey, oftentimes joined by Isis Young and Eliza Carlin. Kim Adams checks in from time to time. Great look at the women's side of the Big East Conference this season. Darnell Haney grinding some gears over there, working on this 12-point lead. Xavier got it down to single digits in the third quarter. Georgetown answered right back with a 7-0 run over 3 minutes, and that ended that third quarter. Hoyas shooting 42% from the floor and holding Xavier to 31%. Billy Chambers felt good about this team coming into tonight's tussle here with Georgetown, second of the season.
See what this finish entails, Mike. I feel like this game, there's one last little chapter to be written, the way that both teams have played. Play every time Xavier's made a run.
Rivera's three off the front of the rim. Cleaned up nicely by Jenkins, puts it back up strong in traffic and knocks it in.
You could see Oreo there for Xavier, very frustrated. That's just too much size for Georgetown, overpowering and successful underneath.
In a 19 advantage for the Hoyas in a rebounding. Purvis knocks it away. Lopez there again, opportunistic. And Rivera got back to block that shot on the way up. Purvis on the baseline had possession, and they'll call that out of bounds and give it back to Georgetown.
Canerva created that turnover here on that last press break for Georgetown. Canerva slid into a passing lane, didn't allow the pass to be completed, and then it turned into a turnover. Xavier was just unable to convert on the other end.
In traffic, Musketeers again making it difficult. That'll be a held ball, and it'll stay with the Hoyas.
Georgetown has had trouble tonight at different points inbounding the ball.
Jada Wilson comes back on. Gives Jaden McBride a rest for the Hoyas. Siobhan Ryan River to get things back started when our officiating crew has it all set. Ball in, and there's Kadia Shun, who's playing with 4 fouls. A little bit of a storyline here in our second half with 6:20 to go. Pass, Canerva into traffic. Ashun pushes her back out. Purvis with a lane, kicks out, but travel on the pass.
And see, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I know it would be a contested shot, but maybe try and get in to the lane and try and draw contacts, because you can see Purvis, there's the lane, try and go up in to Jenkins and draw the foul. Jenkins with 3 fouls right now. You can put a 4th on her. It's easier said than done with a player of Jenkins' size, but
that's Kadia Shun, who has gone to the floor there pretty heavy. Shun, not bashful here, playing with the 4 fouls, trying to regain that basketball, as that was Mackenzie Givens and Mary Canerva over there defensively for the Musketeers. Also Taylor Purvis getting involved. And Shun maybe took a hit there to the head as she went down.
yeah, I think she hit the back of her head. You can see her holding it as she went to the floor. Xavier with a 5-point win in that game at Cintas, and then here tonight, Georgetown about 5:54 away from splitting the 2.
Knight actually was working out in the auxiliary gym here in Cintas Center prior to that men's game last night. Foul here against the Musketeers as the Hoyas mounted a good transition run with Kelsey Ransom. Contact there from Martinez Lopez for the Musketeers. That's Xavier's 3rd foul here in the quarter. Shot up and in for Kelsey Ransom.
Georgetown's been very solid today, being physical, getting to the line. Now 11 for 12 from the free throw line.
Ransom now with 12 on the evening. Ransom in on Purvis. Floater off the glass and good. Classic Kelsey Ransom right there.
Kelsey Ransom tonight, Mike. I can't say enough about
in and out for Mayo on the 3, and the ball goes back to the Hoyas on the rebound.
some of these angles with just her body positioning and the way she's able to create space. Not much of a window, but enough. Now a 6-0 run for Georgetown in the last 2.5 minutes.
Jenkins gets it across midcourt. Ball up for Siobhan Ryan, and it's good. That's a little assist there from Kelsey Ransom.
And this is where Xavier's defense needs to step up to keep them in this game. A 12-2 run for the Hoyas in the last 4.5 minutes. Georgetown's defense has been the difference maker in the fourth quarter. Second time this season between these teams that's happened. Here's another turnover.
Wilson knocked that away. Ransom in the open court taking on Mayo, and Mayo commits the foul. Ashanique Mayo picks up her second. It's the fourth for the Musketeers here in the quarter.
Yeah, good job by Mayo, though. Actually,
looked pretty clean, didn't it?
Kind of looked clean. It's that initial contact that sometimes, especially from that angle, it's going to get called. But that looked like a pretty well-defended play.
Ransom was 4 for 4.
And the program record. Space, if she could go to the floater there. Floater's a tough shot with momentum into the lane, but
Boralova and powers another one home.
Jenkins only has 7.
Mackenzie Gibbons kind of came off that catch, but here's the big basket by Jenkins. Look at sheer power, sheer will to get that off the glass and in.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. The will, the grit, determination, the ability to just get that ball, because you want it more than the other player. And that's what Jenkins did right there.
See what's going on around the conference here tonight on our Invesco QQQ scoreboard. Creighton at home in Omaha, putting it on the Seton Hall Pirates. Creighton will separate again in second place. Good one there between Marquette and St. John's up in Milwaukee, and Villanova. Slim lead over the Butler Bulldogs.
Xavier 0 for their last 6 from the field, 1 for their last 8. Haven't scored in 4.5 minutes.
And here's the night tonight for Kelsey Ransom. 5 of 10 from the floor. She has a 3-pointer. She's 5 of 6 from the line, 16 points.
Yeah, and again, creating angles, getting into space, and using any kind of an opening that Xavier's defense has given her.
Just the poise of a veteran. Kelsey Ransom, graduate student at Georgetown. Stayed with the program her entire career and
straight back up with it.
Wilson hands it back for Ransom. Ryan, a little contact there in the baseline. See if that one goes against Ariel Jenkins. It will, and that's her 4th. So Jenkins and Hessian with 4 here tonight for the Hoyas. Hessian, of course, shaking up a little bit earlier. Haven't seen her back. Ransom now with 7 boards. Good backdoor look there for Ryan. Ryan under control, left it short. Jenkins got the rebound. She's fouled on the putback by Petra Boralova.
So 1 free throw here will give Jenkins a double-double.
Jenkins this season, 7 double-doubles for the Hoyas. It's the most double-doubles of her career. And last year, Paul, she averaged 3 points and 3 rebounds. We talked to Darnell Haney about that. Asked, did you see this surge coming from Ariel Jenkins? And he said she just needed some people to work with her, build up her confidence, and tell her she had this potential. She has delivered in a big way. Hoyas are without Brianna Scott, who was the 6th player of the year last year in the Big East. Down, but pokes it away. 2 minutes into the play now. Hoyas on a 13-2 run now over 5:04, and the Musketeers have not helped themselves. They're 1 for their last 10 from the field. He's had a shot at the rebound, and it hits the floor, and Jaden McBride scoops it up for the Hoyas. Ride. Second three of the night.
It's that quick ball that we've seen so much tonight.
Osmeets gets to the baseline. A blocking foul going to be called here against the Hoyas. That'll go against Siobhan Ryan.
Take a look at that last three. The one extra pass. Could have taken a shot in the corner. It would have been contested, but instead, McBride takes the wing three, more open. Georgetown has outscored Xavier 20-6 here in this quarter.
And it was 20-4. For Jenkins, now 12 on the night.
Julie Garcia-Raj has only taken 10 threes this year. She's 2 for 10 on the year from 3. But that's a shot in the corner you'd like to see her take.
Ryan looks for a three. That one floats in. 7-3 of the night for the Hoyas.
And they have really separated themselves here in this fourth quarter, Mike. This completely snuffed out this Xavier team.
Gibbons knocks one in for the Musketeers in traffic, and Mackenzie Gibbons, a bright spot for the Musketeers tonight. Ball comes down again inside for Jenkins, and she will shake off the Musketeer defense. Hoyas impressive here in quarter number 4. Outscoring the Musketeers 23-8. They'll end this ball game on a 19-4 run over 6 minutes and 50 seconds. And the Hoyas move to 5-5 on the road this season. They're an even 11-11 overall, and now 4-7 in the Big East. Musketeers fall to 6-17, 1-11 overall. Hoyas, big close here tonight. 63-36. We'll be back with Darnell Haney to talk about it after this.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room. A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are stronger.
We are Georgetown.
What is it that I can do to teach better, to practice better, to get that player to do that one thing? Rising to the challenges, you rise to your preparation. And okay, so how do you prepare? Fight to win. Give everything that you have from a competitive fire, competitive spirit level. You know, when it all ends, I did everything that I can.
Back at Xavier's Cintas Center, Big East women's basketball tonight. Midweek, the Georgetown Hoyas come away with a 63-36 victory over the Xavier Musketeers. We're joined now by Darnell Haney, the head coach of the Hoyas. And Darnell, your team got pushed here a little bit tonight in that third quarter, responded very well, came up with another big finish against the Musketeers. Here, what'd you see out of your Hoyas tonight?
I was proud of our production. First off, I want to just say, I want to thank God for the opportunity to be able to do this. I want to thank God for our team's opportunity to be able to go out here and show the world what Georgetown basketball is all about. And I'm glad we were able to come out with a W.
You had to face some adversity here, but you handled it well on offense. Musketeers gave you a little trouble in the press break, but you were able to recover and score some big runs on the Musketeers in the second half.
Absolutely. I think when, Hessian got in a little foul trouble, right, and that kind of bothered us a little bit as far as production and getting Kelsey. Having Kelsey had to play on the ball a little bit, but at the same time, we were able to fight it out and figure it out defensively. I think one of the biggest things we harped on this week for practice, we wanted to be better defensively. We had to make a couple of adjustments. We got in some foul trouble that third quarter, and I think we did a good job of adjusting and doing what I wanted us to do defensively. So I was proud of our group for that.
Between the 2 fourth quarters that you played against Xavier this season, you were able to outscore them 43-12 combined. What is it about closing this game strong that's impressed you the most for your team?
We talk about this all the time. It comes to part of the season, especially in February, where you just have to outlast people, right? You just can't break, right? We can bend a little bit, and we bent a little bit in the third quarter, right? But we can't break. And we did a good job of bending but not breaking, and we just wanted to make sure we didn't break first, and we did a good job of doing that. So I'm proud of our group for that.
Talk about the big close tonight from Ariel Jenkins, Kelsey Ransom. Jenkins comes up with a double-double tonight, her 8th of the season. But those two, really, Jenkins continues to have that surge from last year, averaged 3 and 3, now averaging a double-double this season. And then Kelsey Ransom just shows the poise of the veteran down the stretch.
I think it's a testament to her progress and what she's done this summer to just get better and better and better. And we called on her, on Jenkins, this year because we had some injuries, and called on her to have a bigger role. She's accepted that role, and she's doing a great job. In my opinion, she keeps this up. She's I guess the most improved player in the Big East, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to be a little biased because these are my girls, and I appreciate everything she's done. And then Ransom has just been Ransom, right? She kind of gets antsy in the first quarter. She's trying to get herself going, trying to figure it out. But once the game goes, she kind of figures it out. And I'm proud of her for her performance today. She had to play some point today, and she did a great job.
You were talking about players on your team that know their roles. Siobhan Ryan tonight gives you 16, steps up well in the support role, but she goes over 1,000 points for her career. So nice for the transfer in from Richmond.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of Siv. She just done a magnificent job of leading, and I met with Siv a couple, maybe like last week. Really good meeting. I learn from my players too, right? When we come in and we meet, man, and I just talk to them one-on-one, I learn from them. And I learned a lot from her about our team, about how a lot of our players deal with adversity, right? She knew it. She was huge today. And I'm so proud of her for those 1,000 points. That's big. That's a milestone in her career, and I'm glad she got it here at Georgetown.
You talk about taking your season here in pods, right? So you pick up a victory here tonight. How important is it for this pod, this stretch of the season?
It's a super important. This was a very important game. This is one of our pods, and we got to go ahead and get another W in this pod. So we're gonna celebrate this tonight, right? And then we're gonna prepare for DePaul on Sunday.
All right,
so
Coach. Thank
you. I'm proud of our group. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great one, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Darnell
Thank you very much.
Georgetown Hoyas get to 500 on the season. They pick up their 5th road victory against 5 losses here tonight. But a big night for Kelsey Ransom, Ariel Jenkins, and Siobhan Ryan in the scoring column for the Hoyas.
Yeah, very impressive night tonight from Jenkins underneath with that double-double, 11 points, 13 boards. Georgetown rolls behind a strong 4th.
Musketeers found some chemistry, but not enough tonight.